Army continues to budget for tactical wheeled vehicles at rates well below the minimum sustaining rates industry requires to keep production lines open. And further, the Army is risking a gap in production by transitioning the Joint Light Tactical Vehicle to a company that has no experience manufacturing this platform. So I'm worried that the Army's management of these programs and their associated industrial base, the Army is due to complete a strategy for the acquisition of these platforms this summer. But I'm concerned about the Army's ability to grade its own work, frankly. The tactical wheeled vehicle sector is an important part of the overall industrial base and our national security strategy. So, Mr. Secretary, can I count on sound decision-making from DoD on vehicle programs? And further, will you engage the Office of the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Industrial Base Policy in reviewing the Army's management of the tactical wheeled vehicles and providing recommendations?
You can. I will. There's no question that Wisconsin's industrial base is critical, and so we want to make sure that we continue to do the right things and keep and make sure we have the capacity to address our needs going forward. So,
Okay. Wisconsin's industrial base is something, of course, that's always on my mind, and so I'm going to shift to our shipbuilding. Mr. Secretary, we're all troubled by the 75-day shipbuilding review that found major delays among most of the shipbuilding programs. And I was surprised to hear that the Navy estimates that the frigate will be delayed by as many as 36 months. As you and I discussed last year, I worked to secure funding for the industrial base and workforce development programs that would support growing the skilled workforce that we need to sustain robust production of the frigate. I'm disappointed that it took the Navy 15 months to obligate the fiscal year 2023 funds. Mr. Secretary, will you explain to the committee the importance of continuing to fully fund the frigate program and its associated workforce development needs on a consistent annual basis? And will you commit to working with me to ensure that the Navy works diligently and responsibly to execute these funds?
as you know, this budget request, Senator, does include requests for fully funding the FY25 frigate. But to your point, in terms of making sure that we have the workforce that can provide the capacity that we need to stay on track and keep up with the demand, that's critical. So the industrial base needs to be able to not only recruit but retain the talent that's needed to do that, and we have to continue to invest in that. And again, we have to pick up the pace. And so we will continue to work with industry leaders to in fact, do that. And I have met with some industry leaders and talked about what we're doing with the resources that are being provided to investing in the industrial base, and we'll continue to do that going forward. And I think they are doing some things on their own to invest, but we have to work together in a more meaningful way to increase capacity. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Senator Graham.
Thank you. Rather than get in a fight about the Navy, why don't we agree with the following? That the Battle Force Ship Assessment Requirement Report issued said that we need 381 manned ships, 134